Hey peeps, it's Jedd here from Tutoring, and as always, it's such a pleasure to join you. Today we've got a question related to triangular prisms. They've said to us, in this triangular prism below, PQT, so PQT, and PRT are congruent. PQ is equal to PR, which we'd be able to assume from that, and PT is perpendicular to QR. So I'm going to put some of those really important things in. So we know that that is perpendicular. We know that that equals that. And we also know that PQT is congruent to PTR. Right, now let's get into our first question. Determine the length of QT if QR equals 48 centimeters. So they've said to us that QR is equal to 48 centimeters. So I'm going to write that in there. So that's 48 centimeters. Now let's have a look at what's happening here. They've said to us that that triangle is exactly the same as that triangle, which would mean that this is equal to this. And that would mean that if this whole thing is 48 centimeters, well, that would mean then that QT is exactly half of that. So we can say that QT is equal to half of QR, which equals 24 centimeters. And the reason here is because triangle PQT is congruent to triangle PRT. All right, I'm running out a bit of space there. Please excuse me, but that should get you the full marks for that question. Then they've said to us, if PQ equals PR, which is 25 centimeters, so I'm going to write that in. So they've said to us PQ is 25 centimeters. And they've also said to us that PR is 25 centimeters. Okay, apologies there. Show that PT is equal to 7 centimeters. Okay, so they're wanting us now to calculate this PT. What would we do? Well, we can see that we've got a triangle that has a right angle, and there's only one man that we can use in order to calculate the remaining side. Because remember, we've already worked out in our previous question that QT and TR are 24 centimeters. So that would mean that PT squared is equal to 24, apologies, no it's not, it's 25 squared minus 24 squared. Do you see how that works? PT is not our hypotenuse, this is our hypotenuse, which is the longest side, it's the one directly across from our right angle. So it would be our longest side squared minus our shorter side squared would give us our PT, the one that we're looking for, squared. Okay, so what do we do then? Well, we say 25 squared is, quickly on our calculators, 25 squared is 625 minus 24 squared is going to be 576. And if we do a quick calculation there, 625 minus 576 is going to give us 49. And then we need to square root both sides, and the square root of 49 is going to give us 7 centimeters. So we've calculated that PT is equal to 7 centimeters, and we've done that using our Pythagoras theorem. Okay, always make sure to write in the reason, just in case there are marks allocated for that. Now they've said to us hence, and hence is a beautiful word. Hence basically means look at the questions above and see how they can help. Hence, calculate the area of triangle PQR. So we've got triangle PQR, and we know that the area of a triangle is going to be equal to half our base times our perpendicular height. So we know that half, what is our base? Our base is this line over here, which is 48 centimeters, times our perpendicular height, which we calculated in our previous step, which is therefore 7 centimeters. And that is then going to be 0.5 times 48 times 7 is going to give us 168 centimeters squared. All right, so that's the answer to that question. Moving on to the next one. Calculate the volume of the prism if RS equals 80 centimeters. So RS is equal to 80 centimeters. So what is the volume of our prism? the volume is simply the area times the height. The area times the height. So volume is going to be the area times the height. Okay, so our area we've already calculated as 168 centimeters squared, and the height they've just given to us over here, which is our RS equals 80 centimeters. So we can plug that into our calculator, and that's going to give us 13,440 centimeters cubed, because we're working in 3 dimensions now. Very important to include the cubed. Right, so there we are moving along really nicely. Good job. Moving on to our last question, calculate the surface area of the prism. Now remember, surface area is how much paint you would need in order to paint all the sides of our triangular prism. So let's say our surface area, let's always start off with our formula. Okay, let's give us a nice formula to work through. So the first thing we're going to cover is our triangle, and we've got 2 triangles that we need to cover. So it's going to be 2 times that area of the triangles, okay, plus then we've got a rectangle over there, we have a rectangle over there, and we have another rectangle over there. Now we can see that this rectangle is going to equal this rectangle, so we can say that it is 2 times length times breadth, and then we've got 1 more length times breadth, which isn't exactly the same as the others. Now we can start plugging in some numbers. So we've got 2 times the area of our triangle, which we calculated to be 168. Brilliant. Then we've got 2 times our length times breadth. So let's have a look at this one. We've got our length times breadth. So our length here is going to be 80 and our breadth is going to be 25. Let me see if I can fit these in. I probably can't, so I'm going to give myself some more space. So I'm going to say my length is 80 and my breadth is going to be 25. I'm just going to carry on below that. And then I've got this rectangle underneath where I still need to paint the bottom, and that is going to have a length of 80 and a breadth of 48. So I'm going to add, that is my last little bit. So it's going to be a length of 80 and a breadth of 48. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to put all of that in to my calculator now. So it's going to be 2 times 168 plus 2 times 80 times 25 plus 80 times 48, and that's going to give me 8,176 centimeters, and because we're working in 2 dimensions, squared. That is that, guys. Hopefully this helped you out. It really does cover a lot of the stuff that you're going to be tested on in either your test assessments or exams. So hopefully it helps you out. If you need something else answered when it comes to volume, area, surface area, send us the question and we'll respond with a personalized video. Thank you so much to our sponsors for making these videos possible. We really do appreciate your support. Until the next time, stay epic.